People here at the Servant Center say Josiah Curtis is getting in trouble because he's not part of the program and off his medication. In order for him to stop getting in trouble, he needs to have the proper supervision. It's the problem that spans from Pee Wee football all the way to the NFL. Concussions. There's a growing concern about the potential damage caused by the head injury. Now, in an effort to increase player protection, the state is stepping in to help. Football teaches players to take hard hits and stay in the game.
Doesn't matter if his eyeball's falling out, he wants to play.
But staying in the game may no longer be an option. On Tuesday, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder signed legislation aimed to increase concussion awareness and treatment. The bill requires coaches to take players out of the game if they think the player has suffered a concussion. Athletic Director George Zender said the bill is long overdue.
I'd rather err on the side of conservancy and let's keep them out for safety's sake, you know. Sure, any athlete that wants to play is going to say, hey, coach, I'm okay, put me back in.
But it's not just coaches looking out for players. The bill also requires referees and anybody else involved in youth sports to take classes and learn to spot the signs of a concussion.
The more aware we are as coaches, as athletic personnel, it can only do good, positive things for the game.
The bill eases the fans' worries, too.
I want all the kids to be safe and have fun out there, so it's a big concern now that a law is implemented where they should get checked out, or if they have any type of hard impact, that they should sit out or see a doctor.
With the research suggesting concussions pose a serious threat to an athlete's long-term health, the extra protection seems to be a step in the right direction.
We owe it to these young athletes to do whatever we can in our power to make it as safe as we can and preventative as we possibly can.
An estimated 140,000 young athletes suffer concussions each year. Michigan is now the 41st state to enact concussion-related legislation. For 24-Hour News 8, I'm Michael Cousins. It's not often you have an Olympic champion coming to town, but with the U.S. women's national soccer team here at Ford Field, a record crowd showed up to see them take on China. The crowd came with signs and jerseys to cheer on their favorite lady soccer players.
Felt maybe like there was going to be a little dip, and then all of a sudden this is the biggest one we've had in a few games.
How big was it? Over 17,000 fans came to Detroit for the game as part of the Fan Appreciation Tour. It was the largest crowd ever for a women's soccer game in Michigan.
I think it's so awesome that we're capable of bringing people together and, having people support us, and we love it.
The team didn't disappoint the record crowd. After a scoreless first half, the U.S. got on the board first when Tobin Heath danced around the defense and found Carly Lloyd, who puts it in the low corner for the first goal. Then, with the game winding down, Alex Morgan hit a streaking Sydney Leroux for the second goal, putting the U.S. up 2-0 and sealing the victory.
It was nice to get that insurance goal, especially late, so it was fun.
Alex Morgan also made history that day. Her assist to Leroux made her only the second person ever in U.S. women's soccer history to record 20 goals and 20 assists in the same season. The other, Mia Hamm.
I actually didn't realize it until it was announced, but it's really great to be in that exclusive club with Mia.
The U.S. faced China 2 more times to wrap up the tour, then will begin preparing for the 2015 World Cup. At Ford Field, I'm Michael Cousins.
Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden.
The Vice President came to Grand Rapids to discuss the Obama administration's plans for factories like American Seating. Biden addressed the crowd about industry improvements.
We will dominate the 21st century in automobile manufacturing.
And job outsourcing.
You give people a moving expense to come home, and don't give them a moving expense to go abroad.
The speech comes at a key time during an election year. With Michigan-born Mitt Romney potentially running against Obama, Michigan becomes a state that could determine the presidency. It was important for Biden to win over the listeners. The Vice President encouraged the crowd that the United States is still a leader in the global economy. His speech excited Grand Rapids workers, giving them hope that the American job is growing stronger and coming back home.
I think him and Barack Obama We get the job done, we'll get where we need to be, bring these jobs back to America, which we need to do.
Cindy Burry has family working in the factory and appreciates Biden stopping at American seating.
And I loved what he had to say, that we're going to make America great again. The eye of America, someplace, has their eye on American seating. That was wonderful.
Before leaving the factory, Biden insisted America and Michigan workers were on the right path.
Because of you workers on the floor, America is coming back and will lead the world in the 21st century in manufacturing.
For GV10 News in Grand Rapids, I'm Michael Cousins.